started this fictitious fear-mongering that you wouldn't want to live and drink the water in a community that's fracked. You wouldn't allow his children to live in a community that was fracked. And I thought, this is just ridiculous. This is not science. That's not what the governor was trying to hold us off for the last 4 years. And that's what I was shocked about. So it was very disappointing to hear Commissioner Zucker bring up those terms. If he wanted to bring up anything, he could have gotten into the records of the Department of Health and used some of those fictitious records that you'll hear coming out of Ithaca, where there's a gas spill, and the number of gas spills that happen across the state. Well, the gas spills that they refer to aren't natural gas spills. They're gas that you put in your car gas spills that are on the side of the road or at a gas station. Those are the ones that they've been referring to and that they allow this continue to propagate as misinformation. And that's the thing that's harmful. This is a fear statement. This is all based on fear and not science. And I'm really disappointed by that. Before I became an assembly member, I served in the county legislature in Chemung. And during that time period, we had numerous interactions with various companies that were interacting in the gas drilling area of Chemung County and the Trenton Black. And whenever we had an issue, they were there immediately to resolve that issue. So we've never once at the local municipal level had an issue with gas companies not adhering to local regulations or local concerns. They were always immediately responding. After that, Tioga County, just to the east of Chemung County, I've got to applaud them because they took it upon themselves to go ahead and form a commission to go ahead and investigate and bring in all the different experts to look at any concerns for when we did start to have fracking going on and the impacts that would have on our roads and our bridges, on the communities, on the zoning issues. And they put that together, and they were the first one in the state to come together and put together a large task force at a large level, at a county level. Chemung County shortly followed after that, as did many other counties. And this helps out because when the county comes in and puts that in, it helps the smaller towns like Baldwin in Chemung County, who don't have a full-time zoning enforcement officer or don't have a full-time town supervisor. This puts in a comprehensive plan for them to look at and to be legally protected at the municipal level, but it also protects the rights of the landowners. And that was an important process. And this information was all given to Governor Cuomo. And it's been said repeatedly, not only by the local groups, by JLC, but also by NISAC and NICOM, because they know that that is an important issue in our local area, that we want to move forward and that we're prepared to move forward. We knew what was going to happen. But still, Governor Cuomo says, no, it's not a possibility. Recently, there was an issue, this is a little bit outside the scope, but I want to bring it up, about the minimum wage and how the minimum wage in New York State was too low and we had to bring it up. It was brought to the floor as a contentious issue. It was passed. It's going to continue to rise over the next couple of years. But then you got to look at a state like North Dakota, where drilling is going on and it's the hydrofracking that we're so contentiously not allowing within the state. And do they have to pass a minimum wage law there? No. You can make over $15 an hour working behind the counter at McDonald's without any minimum wage having to be passed because of the whole issue of economics driving the issue. And that same thing could happen here. When I was on the county board in Chemung County, one of the issues that was coming up because we were looking at fracking, and fracking was beginning over in Pennsylvania, was a housing crisis. We had a number of local developers come in and started building town apartments and complexes in order to take care of that issue. We had people that were getting into drilling, and they were leaving good-paying jobs in New York State to travel over to Pennsylvania to make even more money. Anybody that was in their 20s that was going to work and had a clean record was easily making in the high 5 to low 6 figures in the drilling industry. They were coming back and be able to buy property, buy houses, buy toys that they never thought they'd be able to own in their life, boats and ATVs. They didn't know what to do with the money they were making. But yet, the bureaucrats and politicians in Albany from downstate think, no, we have to oversee your life and we have to manage every part of your life. We know better than you know. We know how to manage your entire affair. And that's not right. That's not the way it should be. At the same time, they'll come back and say that we know what's best for you, we're going to look out for your environmental concerns. But yet the number of farmers in the southern tier that have come forward and said, we want to be able to frack on our property. How come you can't trust them? These are the people that rely on the land to grow their crops, to raise their livestock. Why aren't they right? Why doesn't the government know? Why don't the individuals in downstate listen to them? Especially when we're creating the green markets to send all of our food and produce downstate. Those farmers upstate, they know what they're doing. They know how to raise those crops, but they don't listen to them. As Scott referred to, I have a doctorate in chemistry. I've had numerous opportunities to interact with Governor Cuomo in the 4 years I've been in Albany. And I've always brought up the issue of fracking. And when is it going to move forward? When's it going to happen? And he always refers me to another member of his office to send a letter. And I've done that numerous occasions. And have I ever received a word back? No. I continue to put that pressure on the governor to say, hey, look, we need to do something here. And it's not just about the fracking. As Scott mentioned, if you want to be environmentally clean and reduce our carbon footprint, gas is the way to go. We have the opportunity in New York State to be environmentally responsible. Switch to natural gas. It will reduce the carbon dioxide output. Not only does it reduce the carbon dioxide output, but the combustion, the burning of natural gas, actually releases more water into the atmosphere than is used to frack in the first place. So the whole idea that we're draining the water from our lakes and our streams is moot. I brought that issue up to him again and no response. Again, if you want to help our farmers upstate, which he comes up and he says he wants to do, bring natural gas into our state and allow us to turn that into fertilizer. Because in the last 20 to 30 years, our farmers have had a harder and harder time receiving fertilizer, and the cost of fertilizer continues to go up. Natural gas is a precursor to manufacturing fertilizer. Not only is it a precursor to making fertilizer, you can crack natural gas into producing ethane. And ethane, you can convert into ethane and ethine. Those are the precursors to so many pharmaceuticals, all the drugs that people are taking, all the plastics out there. We could be a mecca for the entire country right here in the Northeast. We could produce jobs in pharmaceuticals. We could have an entire hub producing plastics. We could produce another hub that's just doing fertilizer. And we could have the lowest energy prices in the country and manufacture more goods back to New York State. I thank you all for coming out here today. You need to keep up this kind of support. Send your letters, send your experiences, any experiences from farmers, from workers, from friends, from family members that have left the state to go to Pennsylvania, have gone to other states. Send those to our members in the legislature that are from the urban areas and from downstate especially, because those are where we're meeting our resistance. They say that this is fictitious, that there's nothing happening. Invite them to come up and take a tour over in Pennsylvania, because that's something that we hear all the time. Oh, we need to get to Pennsylvania. I've gone on numerous tours in Pennsylvania. It's not an issue. They want more people to come and frack in Pennsylvania. I see the signs. They want you to come back. So those are some of the things that you can do. Invite our members in the legislature. If you can't get the members up, bring their staff up. Bring up anybody that's in their office, locally or from up in Albany. Invite them to come on those tours and send those letters out. Thank you and keep up the hard work.